Now, soundbars offer a very convenient way of getting more cinematic audio for a home theater. Usually set up as a breeze and there aren't multiple speakers to place around a room or to run wires to. And Polk has built a great reputation for high quality audio devices. So with the Polk Signa S4 Dolby Atmos soundbar, there is a lot to look forward to. And for the most part, I've been really enjoying the Signa S4, so let's dive in and take a closer look. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we are taking a look at the Polk Signa S4. Now this is Polk's first Dolby Atmos soundbar, so in addition to the two upward firing speakers, it has some really smart sound modes built in as well. The $400 Signa S4 is loaded with sound modes that enhance the audio for hearing voices with their voice assist mode, and it has special audio modes for movies, music, and making the soundbar less disruptive at night. Because all the sound is coming from that one speaker near the TV, having these different sound modes just kind of tailors it to different listening situations and really gets the best out of the speaker. The Signa S4 also features a very sleek, kind of minimal design. There aren't any crazy drivers poking out or anything like that, and it also has a wireless subwoofer for getting a full sound without the inconvenience of running cables to it. Taking a look at the overall design, that sleek design of the Signa S4 features a cloth cover that hides a lot of what's going on underneath. Spread out across the 4-foot wide soundbar are 7 drivers, including 2 upward firing speakers for Dolby Atmos. On top are physical buttons for power, input source, Bluetooth, and volume controls. And in the back are all the connection ports. There are connections for HDMI, which supports ARC with the included cable, a 3.5mm audio port, and optical as well. The Signa S4 can be wall mounted and includes a paper template to make that process easier. I've placed it on the TV stand that also holds my LG TV. One thing to note here is that if it is mounted on a wall underneath your TV, make sure that there's enough space between the TV and the soundbar to let those upward firing speakers, really do what they need to do. And Polk has included some directions in the manual with, how far that should be depending on how far away it is from the TV and how far it sits out from the wall. On front is a series of LED status lights. These lights will indicate power, volume level, connection type, and even listening mode. For example, a green light when playing audio signifies that the soundbar is picking up Dolby audio, but a light blue light means that it is using Atmos. An orange flashing light once, twice, or 3 times signifies that the level of voice assist has been adjusted. The remote is very simple but gives all the controls needed to change the audio. There are dedicated buttons for audio modes, voice adjust modes, controlling volume and bass, and selecting inputs. But unfortunately, the buttons don't illuminate. So to take full advantage of Dolby Atmos, the soundbar does need to be connected to a TV via HDMI ARC. And fortunately, most modern TVs have this, so that shouldn't be that big of an issue. But otherwise, setup includes just plugging in an HDMI cable or another audio cable into the soundbar, plugging it into your TV or other source, plugging it into power, and then either setting it in front of the TV or mounting it on the wall. As far as setup, that's about all you need to do. But lastly, it would also be good to check the audio settings to ensure that your TV is set to use that HDMI ARC out so that you are actually using the soundbar. And one of the best features of the Polk Signa S4, in my opinion, are those different sound modes. They really tailor the soundbar to different listening scenarios and kind of make it shine. The 3 different modes are for movies, for music, and a night mode, which will lessen a lot of the lower frequencies and make it kind of less disruptive if you are, watching in a room, but you don't want that kind of bass to carry over into another room and disturb anybody. The night mode is really good at that. And in addition to the night mode, there is the vocal adjust mode as well, which this adjusts the frequencies and highlights vocals for conversations and spoken words. So if you ever have a hard time hearing what the characters are saying in your favorite show or movie, I found that this mode really helps to accentuate those and then also minimize other noises, so it's a lot easier to hear what people are saying. And there are 3 different levels of this, so if the highest setting is a little bit too much for you and kind of ruins the other sound, you could just turn it down to the lower setting and still get a little bit of boost in there. And in addition to the soundbar, the Signa S4 also comes with that wireless subwoofer, and subwoofer placement in your room can make a big difference in how much you hear and even how much you feel of that. So being wireless, you can really place it, kind of anywhere in your listening area and kind of get the best experience that you're looking for. In the manual, they suggest, putting it somewhere on the floor near the soundbar. Personally, in my setup, I have it just a little bit further behind the TV and the soundbar, but I still have it in a corner, which usually kind of resonates a little bit better for bass sound. And I've found that to be a good placement for me, and I usually have it set to around 50% volume, which is great for a cinematic listening experience for me. I tend to like some pretty strong bass, and having that at 50% or maybe just a little bit above was a good setting for me. I rarely felt that I had to go any higher than that for most listening scenarios. There aren't any controls on the sub. The bass volume is adjusted via the remote. And changing that bass level does make adjustments to the sound of both the soundbar and the subwoofer, so they're kind of paired together and work well together to maximize the sound that's coming out of them. So moving on to more sound impressions, I was very surprised by how powerful and clear the Signa S4 sounds. Maybe I shouldn't be too surprised because it's coming from Polk and they have such a great reputation for high quality audio, but it really does sound great. The time that I really noticed the Atmos sound and really noticed something that sounded like it was kind of coming above or there was some height to the audio was when I was watching Star Wars Rogue One. There's a scene, I guess might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, I'll try not to really give anything too much away, but there's a scene where the Death Star is testing its death ray and it hits a target and kind of this whole area is kind of collapsing a little bit, and the ceiling of like this kind of cave prison cell kind of area is starting to fall down a little bit, and you hear some debris and some rocks and things falling, and that audio came through really clear from kind of like that upper channel in Atmos, and really sounded good and kind of took me by surprise by how clear that sounded. And the Signa S4 also gets plenty loud. I felt like about 60% volume. You can kind of tell the volume level by the little white dots on the front with those status LED lights. So a little bit over halfway was a really good setting for me where, it wasn't too loud, but it was still really full, very clear, and, had that deep, powerful bass as well. My only complaint, and I think this is a complaint that I have with pretty much every soundbar that I've tried or, tested or listened to, is that as much technology as they put into kind of spreading out the audio from the middle, it's never quite as good as a dedicated, setup with multiple speakers. But that's where the convenience and the price and everything kind of, comes in and plays that factor. Do you want just one very easy to set up speaker, right by your TV without running wires, without having another receiver or anything like that? Then the soundbar is great for you. Or do you prioritize, audio quality over everything else? You don't mind running wires and kind of building out a system? Then, getting some separate speakers and a receiver might be something that you want to start investing in and kind of building out that system. Now, I don't think that my room is perfectly set up to take advantage of these sound bars that kind of are meant to bounce the sound off of different walls around you and make it, kind of virtually mimic that surround sound feel. I basically don't have a wall on the left side that my soundbar can bounce off of for that. Now, I could still hear some left and right separation when I was watching some of the action scenes in Rogue One, but it's just not quite the same in my experience. I do think that the soundbar sounds great, but to really get that kind of separation and that more immersive and surrounding sound, you might need to go for something with multiple speakers or a different kind of setup. It really feels like, and I think soundbars in general, especially this one, the Signa S4, this is kind of made for the small to medium apartment or like a bedroom where things are a little bit tighter. Maybe don't have the room or the ability to put, a bunch of speakers around, and you don't want to disrupt other people who are maybe, sharing a wall or, above or below you either. With that night mode and with those voice assist or voice adjust modes, that really helps to kind of tailor the sound so you aren't disturbing others. You don't want people like banging on the floor or banging on the ceiling, telling you to turn it down or something like that. These modes can really help. But then when you do want that full cinematic, that full sound to it, you can kind of crank it back up a little bit. All right, so overall, if you are looking for a great sounding soundbar, if you're set on the soundbar experience and design and convenience, I think you're going to be very happy with the Polk Signa S4. The audio modes make it very versatile, make it really friendly for smaller spaces where you're worried about disturbing others, but it still has a nice big full sound to it. It is $400, but you're getting some great features with that wireless subwoofer and those audio modes. And just remember, with Dolby Atmos, you do need that HDMI ARC connection to your TV to take advantage of that. All right, well, that's going to do it for our review of the Polk Signa S4. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link to our review of the Enclave Wireless 5.1 system, as well as our most recent video. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys.